Hi guys, my name is Sarah Whitney and I am your guest artist, volunteer speaker today, and I'm making this video from the comfort of my home. I hope you guys are all at home safe yourselves. Um, Basically, I reached out to Jen a little while ago because I currently run my own freelance graphic design, web design company called Style Child. You guys are able to see it here on my desktop. I'm doing a little bit of screen share so you guys can follow along as I talk through my creative career. It's definitely been a journey. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of feedback, some pros and cons about being a freelancer. I also have experience working in a design studio as well as working at a larger in-house company. I know you guys are all kind of in this search place where you're probably maybe thinking about what kind of job you want to take after you graduate. And so I just want to let you guys know I'm also looking for an intern, and give you guys a little bit of info about that at the end. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach me here on my website. I have a contact form on my contact page, and that's stylechild with an E on the end of child.com. So you can definitely hit me up here. I also have, I'm on Instagram a lot. So if you want to direct message me on there, you can follow me. My handles are all the same for all my social media. So hi, and thank you all for watching. I hope to keep you really, really entertained. My creative career has been a journey. I graduated from college in 2008. I graduated from a school called the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. I grew up in Salem, Oregon. I graduated from West Salem High School here. If anybody has graduated from West, huge shout out, go Titans. Also, in going to New York and going to a fashion college, I was sort of in betwixt what I wanted to do when I graduated because I knew I wanted to move back to the West Coast when I was done with school. And so I started in product development. That's what I got my degree in, was merchandise management and product development. So I was very good at Illustrator, Photoshop, shout out to Adobe Creative Suite. I love using their software. It's something that I'm very, very comfortable in. And if anybody can relate, I know that you know that with that software being the design standard nowadays, you have a very special gift and a very special skill. And so I hope you guys will feel encouraged to know that I have made a very successful career out of knowing that software. So hang on, guys, for the ride, because where you're at now to, how many years later has it been? So it's 2020. So this year will be 12 years after me graduating college, and I successfully run my own web design company, and I contract out photography, media, copywriting, SEO. If you have any questions about what those things are, please leave a comment. This video on YouTube, I'll be checking it regularly. So this is my website. I built it myself. It has both a design portfolio and a web design portfolio as well. This has definitely been a culmination of everything that I've learned in one place. And some of the pros and cons of being a freelancer, which I'm sure you guys probably have heard most of these, but I'm still going to go through them. So the pros, definitely, I am my own boss. I call my own shots. I dictate what my schedule looks like. Like right now, it's almost 10:30 a.m., but I did shower. I did my hair. I got ready. I'm sitting in my own house. Yes, but like I made an effort to get ready this morning. It's really important when you work from home. You can do it as long as you want. You can work from home like every day if you want to, or you can go to a coffee shop and work with other people. I'm actually in the middle of an office remodel right now. I'm building an office space, a studio office space downtown in the Reed Opera House. If anybody's from Salem knows where the Reed Opera House is, come say hi. I'm on the 3rd floor in suite 307. Just let me know you're from Jen's class from A429. And I'd be happy to show you guys around. It's a pretty cool space. So you can hire and fire as many people as you want to. If I don't like a contractor that I'm working with, I just go source another one online. And definitely, I think this is a really positive one. When I'm successful with a client, when a client directly gives me feedback and is like, oh my God, I love it. Like, I have tons of emails. I'll just look at an email from yesterday that says, from a client, I produced a newsletter for her. She said, this is beautiful, like super exclamation. I was like, oh, that's so nice to hear. So that's great. You can get all the positive feedback and take all the credit. And there's unlimited opportunity. You can literally change what your services are at a drop of a hat. If one day you want to be a logo designer and the next day you want to be a web designer, just do your YouTube tutorials, teach yourself how to do it, and you can do it. The cons of being a freelancer, you can get overwhelmed because you're wearing so many hats. It's true. You definitely need to keep track of billing. You need to do your own taxes unless you hire somebody to do your bookkeeping. I would definitely say try to do it. I've done this now for 6 years and I've done all my bookkeeping myself. This is the only year, last year was the only year when I really made like a significant salary. But I'm like, because I wasn't working any other jobs, I really took it a lot more seriously. I'm contemplating hiring a bookkeeper or paying somebody to help me organize my books. You can also feel a little overwhelmed if things break or you have to do like maintenance or revisions, like that can kind of get overwhelming. But I have ways that I've kept that under wraps. And a lot of that has to do with the process that I've built. I'd love to talk to you guys about my web design process. If you feel so inclined, ask me about it. It can feel a little isolating. I will tell you, I mean, we're in the middle of this weird stay-at-home order. So we're all going to feel isolated anyway. So maybe this will like boost you, like get you prepared if you want to freelance from home. It's already isolating. The pay is not consistent at first. I'm going to just say that at first, until you really get a handle on how to get down payments or ask for installments or getting money up front from clients. You really should, in the beginning, try to do free work. I'm just going to be really honest, or do the billing at the end so that you're producing something so you can gain more confidence in your abilities. And so sometimes it does take a client, 3 to 4 weeks to pay you. And that's after you've already spent 3 to 4 weeks of design and revisions. People can flake out and get emotional on you. That is a really big one. Running your own company, being an entrepreneur, is emotionally taxing. You definitely need experience. That's why where I'm at now in my 6th year of doing this, I feel really confident in running my business. And honestly, that just takes time. You just have to stick with it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the media company owner, Gary Vaynerchuk. He is phenomenal at speaking, and he boasts a lot about how this is not a race, this is a marathon. Being an entrepreneur is not a race, it's a marathon. So really give yourself time and build momentum slowly and just stay dedicated to it. Another con is you can easily fail, but failure is a positive thing because you learn from failure. And it is expensive running your own business. You do have to pay your contractors. And I'm somebody who loves money flow. I like paying my contractors what they're worth. And I also like finding new people to work with. So that's why I'm in the process of looking for a freelancer, but you will be paid. I'm not going to just ask you to do free work for me because I know what that's like. So let's hop over to this other company that I worked for, a design studio called In-House Graphics. And some of the pros and cons of working for a design studio. This might be actually kind of like more ideal for somebody graduating from your class, from your program. Working for In-House Graphics, the pros were there were a wide array of projects to work on, a lot of clients. They also were specific in that I could literally just work on logos. I could go to my art director and just say, hey, you know, right now I really want to focus on Illustrator. Is there any way that any logos that come through the door, that those are the things that I really want to work on? Or you can tailor whoever they're hiring for specifically. You can make sure your resume matches what they're looking for. And they might be looking for a logo designer. They did a lot of different things, ads, brochures, logos, printing. They did a lot of printing. I learned a lot about printing working for this company. The great thing about working for a design studio is that they have administrators. They might be smaller. They might have, so this company only had under 10 people, about 8 or 9 people at a time working for them. So it's a little bit smaller. It's a little more niche, but that can be nice for somebody who needs like a design environment where they're not lonely, but they're not overwhelmed. Invoicing is all handled by admin. HR is handled by admin. You're just coming to work every day. You're sitting at your desktop. It's provided for you. And you're just working on the projects that they hand you. And they give you a time frame and you try and get it done. And then they usually handle meeting with the client. You don't even have to do that. It's a really great place to just come and do production. Good for long-term jobs. So this is the type of company, I remember working here, and a few of the employees had actually been working there for like 20 years. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. So if somebody's really, really comfortable in a consistent body of work every single day, they don't like a huge amount of challenge. They like enough to like work on something creative, and that's about as far as they want to go. This is a great type of environment to work in. There's a lot of camaraderie around design environments, design thinking. You're surrounded by people that you know. Cons can be, if you're not careful, wherever you apply to work at can look like one thing from their website or look like one thing from their social media. And you might be super attracted to their portfolio and the brands that they work for, the companies that the clients that they have. But the people that work there, you don't really know them yet. So one hint that I have for you is to go online and see their team of people. And if they have any sort of social media attached to their bios, that's a really great way to get to know the people that you will be working with. I do a lot of online stalking. It's okay. We all do that. The owner usually has a very strong personality. That can be a con if you don't click very well with the owner. Picky when they hire, and they usually like to hire, which is good for you. They usually like to hire beginner level, intermediate level, not so much upper level to mid-level. You really have to be somebody that they're seeing that fits with their team to do that. So this is a really good time for you to get involved with a design studio and get that experience. It can be a little bit slow there at times, like at least when I'm running my own business. I'm somebody who's very type A. I like to have a lot of things on my plate at once. If you're not that, if you like one thing at a time and you get easily overwhelmed, this is a really great design environment for you. And sometimes there is no HR. So if it is a smaller company and you do have any sort of conflict that needs resolution between you and another employee, it can be a little tricky. So let's go to my favorite company that I worked for when I was still pretty young when I started working for this company. They are a vertical operation. They're called Will Leather Goods. They're located in Eugene, Oregon. I lived in Eugene for a while. Shout out to Eugene. And they produce leather and accessory products. So right when I graduated college, I was able to take my product development degree and work for this company and do a lot of work for them. I ended up doing photography for catalog creation, as well as web design and web management, store, e-commerce, web design for them, as well as all the other ins and outs of working for a vertical company. Now, what do I mean by vertical or in-house company? It means that everything's done in-house. So this company had under one roof all of their design people for branding, all of their design people for product, all of their sourcers, so people that worked with overseas to handle shipments. We had a sales team, so they were selling the product, going on trips to go to trade shows, meeting with other stores. We also had a warehouse where product would get shipped out from. We also had everybody in-house in the office that would just do regular like admin work. So it was a very large operation, which means the pros are that there's always stuff to do. There's always new things to learn. I learned so much there. I wore so many hats, but it's because there were so many opportunities all around. You can have, when you get hired at this company, because they are much more mature, they have a lot of overhead, you will have a clearly defined job description and job role when you apply to this kind of a company. But you do have to be a little bit special. Like you do have to show in your portfolio that you are unique and you can offer them something. There are a lot of people that you can glean from, that you can learn from when you work for a larger company like this, because there's all kinds of levels around you at all times. People that have been there for 15 plus years, people that are new that have just walked through the door and maybe they have some experience or you can buddy with them. It's a great place to learn. Great for any level. I would say, honestly, if I went and applied to work here again, I would get hired and I'd be in a much more senior role than when I worked there 6-7 years ago. They usually have at least 20 plus people on their overhead at one time. You can get promoted within a short period of time. If you're showing that you have drive, this is the kind of company that will see you succeeding. It's definitely not as big as like Facebook or Google. However, I know that when you show skill at Facebook or you show skill and you complete a project or you go above and beyond, you do like a presentation and you really showcase what you learned, your process, that sort of thing, kind of like your portfolio, to a manager of some sort, somebody can see it and you will get promoted. You will have a salary. You will get paid very well and you will have benefits. And you will get a lot of social experience. If you are a social person, not an introvert, working in-house is a really good place for you. You'll get a lot of opportunities to have team bonding. I still have friends from working at this company. There's a lot of perks, not just salary, but sometimes you get your very own computer, your very own phone. There's usually free snacks or free lunches. The cons, though, of this would be it can be a pretty stressful environment. They have a lot of deadlines. They have a lot of money on the line. When I worked for Will Leather Goods, I was in charge of a lot of shipments coming over, and I was in charge of some pretty high sales numbers. And so that can be pretty stressful, especially when your management is like breathing down your neck, like, where are you at with this? There's a lot of urgent deadlines. That's another con. So you will get a lot on your plate and they'll be like, okay, it's due this afternoon. And you'll be like, okay, but everything else from yesterday is also due this afternoon. So just be aware. Sometimes if you're not as social and you're not as gritty and you're not as willing to be in that kind of environment, you can be easily overlooked, and you may not be recognized for your gifts and your talents. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with this kind of a job, so if you don't toot your horn, you can easily be overlooked. And you can spend, I knew people that had worked there for 5, 6, 7 years, and they were very, very quiet, and they were hard workers, but because they kept quiet, a lot of times management didn't know what they were doing. They were like, well, what do they do anyway? They're just at their desk all day long. It's like, well, no, actually, like she's helped me so much. I've had a lot of emergencies, and she's been the one to bail me out. So they have strict rules when you work there, dress code, conduct, time off, everything requires an approval. And sometimes you have to work weekends, and it's just expected of you. So, which can't, it's not that, honestly, it's not that bad. If you're in your 20s and you have, what do we have? Free time when you're in your 20s? You literally just need your hands to be busy, right? So working the weekends is not that big of a deal. Sometimes you're only allowed to work on one product or service or one area of business. And this can be seen as a pro or a con. I would say for someone like myself, now that I have experience in working with all types of industries, you will only be working on their brand in-house. But that's actually really good experience to have on your resume. I highly recommend trying it. And then you will be in a hierarchy role. So if you're lower level, you will always have to check in with your manager. Which, honestly, like nowadays, now that if I had to go backwards and always have somebody over me and work for corporate, I might be a little frustrated because I've gained so much experience. I don't really want to always check in. And if you're at that place where you feel like, I'm actually really intelligent, this is the thing. You will be so smart because, us younger generation, we're very, very smart. And we will have people who are in other generations who are over us, who are technically supposed to know more than us, and you will run into this where maybe somebody above you doesn't always know as much as you know. You just have to be respectful and bite your lip a few times. That's just kind of a con in the situation where you're at and working for a really large company. Or working for any design company. People have a lot of opinions. Trust your gut, trust your instincts. I have a lot more experience. If you guys have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to sit down with you over coffee or look through your portfolio and give you some feedback. If you have any other questions or would love help on your resume or job searching, if you have any questions about how your skills match up, or maybe you have like a dream goal about a job that you'd like to get, I can definitely give you guys some advice. And I would love to meet you in person. Anyway, this has been fun sharing, and I hope to see you guys around.